The pavement is hot. The smell of rain on asphalt rises in a sharp, specific cloud. You step forward, and for a fraction of a second, the world feels less like a present moment and more like a replay. It's not a warning. It's not a parallel universe colliding with this one. It is a mechanical failure in your own head. We often treat deja vu as a mystical glitch, a sign that time has folded over itself, or that we've slipped into a different timeline. But the science suggests something far more mundane and precise. It is a timing error, a millisecond delay in the wiring of your skull. To see how this works, we have to dismantle the idea of memory as a library. If memory were just shelves of files, deja vu would be a retrieval mistake, pulling the wrong file and confusing the present with the past. But neuroscience shows that's not what's happening. The problem isn't in the storage, it's in the entry process. Deep inside your medial temporal lobe, behind your ears, two regions are at war over how to label reality. One is the hippocampus. The other, smaller and harder to reach, is the parietal cortex. The parietal cortex is a pattern matcher. It scans your visual input and asks one question: have I seen this before? If it finds a match, it sends a familiar signal. The hippocampus then takes that signal, stamps it with new, and files it away for later recall. In a healthy brain, this happens instantly, but sometimes the parietal cortex fires slightly faster than the rest of the system can process the newness. Imagine an email server that confirms receipt before you've even finished typing the subject line. You hit send, but the confirmation arrives before the action is complete. Did you send it, or did you receive it? In your brain, this lag creates a hollow feeling. The parietal cortex says, familiar, but the hippocampus hasn't yet stamped it new. You feel a strong sense of presence, a knowing that you've been here without any specific memory to attach to it. It is a ghost signal with no body. This explains why deja vu feels so distinct from ordinary memory. It's not a flashback, it's a mismatch in timing. But if it's just a glitch, why does it happen? And who experiences it most? For years, we assumed that because the feeling is profound, it must be rare or linked to aging minds tangled by decay. The data flips that assumption. Deja vu peaks between ages 15 and 25. It declines sharply as you get older. Why? Because young brains are hyper-efficient at pattern recognition but less efficient at filtering. They connect dots faster than they can verify them. As we age, neural efficiency shifts. Dopamine levels change. The glitch becomes less frequent, not because we remember more, but because our brains become slower, more deliberate, and better at catching their own errors. We don't have to guess about this. We've seen it in real time. In a 2006 study published in Nature, researchers studied a patient with constant, debilitating deja vu due to a lesion in his medial temporal lobe. He wasn't remembering past lives. He was experiencing a mechanical failure in the circuitry that distinguishes present from past. Even more telling, during epilepsy surgeries, when doctors apply mild electrical stimulation to the parietal cortex of awake patients, those patients report the sudden, overwhelming sensation of deja vu. No hallucinations, no visions, just the cold, hard certainty that this moment has happened before. This proves the phenomenon is electrical, not mystical. It is a short circuit in the gatekeeper. But here is the objection you might be forming. If it's just a glitch, why do we remember the feeling so vividly long after the moment passes? Why does it feel significant? The answer lies in how your brain constructs reality. We like to think perception is a live feed, a direct camera lens. But your brain is an editor. It stitches raw data into a narrative you can understand. When the parietal cortex misfires, it sends a familiar tag before the prefrontal cortex has finished verifying the scene as new. The brain, desperate for coherence, creates a story to explain the mismatch. You have been here before. And this leads to the most surprising twist of all. People who experience frequent deja vu often score higher on tests of openness and creativity. Their brains are less filtered. They are more sensitive to pattern recognition, but also more prone to these timing errors. Their gatekeepers are more active, scanning for familiar structures with intense scrutiny. The glitch is a side effect of a hyperactive, highly creative pattern matching system. So, what does this tell us about US Trace? It tells us that now is not a fixed point. It is a construction. When you experience déjà vu, you are witnessing the seams of your own perception. You feel like you've lived this second before because your brain predicted it, filed it as familiar, and only then allowed your conscious mind to see it. The glitch isn't in the world. It is in the lag between the world arriving and your mind acknowledging it. Next time you feel that eerie pull, don't worry about parallel universes. You are simply witnessing the machinery of your own consciousness, briefly catching up to the present.